Hello, everybody. We are back. It's episode 3 of season 4-ish. We've done one episode in season 3, and then we didn't do anything for months. So we skipped on to season 4. So we're in series 4, episode 3, and we are joined this week by Ticker147. Tix, how are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you, and thank you for having me on, Bajie. Appreciate that.
Most welcome. Currently doing a Pentagon challenge with FM22. You will be able to see the links and everything for him underneath him on the show. And if you're listening, it will be in all the tags as well when it goes out on Spotify. But we will jump straight in. It's the 5 questions, the big 5. And for anyone who's watching Ticker, you'll find out a little bit more about where this love of football originally came from. So we will start off with, what is your first real memory of football?
So for my first real memory, and I've got kind of a connection now with Italian football, is going downstairs on a Sunday or a Saturday and watching Football Italiano, or Football Italia as it was called. And I've got an older brother, so he was he's 9 years older than me, so he was really into football. Yeah, I was kind of just like grasping into it, and I'd just sit down, eat my Cocoa Pops, and then Football Italia is on there, and I'm like, I just fell in love with Italian football and all the crazy shirts. I didn't really know players back then. I just saw these unbelievable shirts that are being run around, and then as more and more got on and years went on, I just kind of grasped football more and just fell in love with the sport, and it's all come from Serie A football.
Love it. Yeah, Gazzetta del Sport as well, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
James Richardson on a Saturday morning doing all the news stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, happy times. I remember watching, and they BBC Channel 4 bought that because they wanted to follow the progress of Gascoigne when he went to Italy. Yeah. But obviously then he got crocked just before going.
Yeah.
And that was it. And it was like, well, hold on a minute. So all the focus suddenly went on to David Platt, I think, at the time, was over there still. And Des Walker.
Paul Lips was over there, wasn't he, as well?
He went over a bit later.
It was I remember him going over. Yeah.
So, I remember those days. I remember watching, it must have been one of the first ever games they showed. And obviously it was Lazio because that's where Gazza was going.
Yeah, of course.
And it was AC Milan versus Lazio. And I think it was like a 5-3 win for Milan. A Van Basten hat-trick or something like that. But you think that sets it up. You never see 5-3 wins in Italy.
No, that's it.
Especially back then, it was a 1-0 or a 2-1.
Yeah, it was where defensive football come from Italy. And then they show that it's like a 5-3. It's brilliant.
Yeah, first game, and everyone's like, get in, we'll watch some
This is the best thing ever.
Bored senseless from then on. But yeah, it was definitely the period of wonderful players. Serie A back in the day was by far and away the best league in the world.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, cool. So what then was the first major international tournament you remember? And what was it that you remember most fondly?
For me, I was 12 and it was the 2002 World Cup.
Okay, and yes.
The thing that sticks in my head the most is seeing David Seaman get lobbed from Ronaldinho. And I remember where I was. I was sitting in my room, my parents watching it downstairs. I was in my own room, and I just heard my dad shout. I won't say the words that he shouted, but I heard him shout, and I was like, wow, okay. And then I was like, this Brazil side, something different. And it's like, it was unbelievable. But that memory just sticks in my head forever from international football. And it's the earliest one I can think of. And I was 12 as well, so I was quite late with the memory, but that one I don't think I'll ever forget it, where I was in the moment it went in and everyone's heart sunk. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. So I mean, and someone else we had on the show that was their first one as well, their first World Cup. And I remember saying even then, and I'm going to regret, I'm going to reminisce again because that was probably in season 1. But being significantly older, I was at work or I was working. Yeah. But obviously it was Japan and South Korea, so the time difference was all over the shop.
Yeah.
And Brannigan's in Reading opened their doors at 7:00 in the morning for people to go and watch the games. So I think it was a 7:30 kickoff. And I remember going in there and they were only serving orange juice or soft drinks because they'd opened up the week before and people had beers, got smashed, and people were not rocking up at work and loads of complaints had gone in. So so basically it was orange juice only, but bundled into Brannigan's, watching it on this massive screen, watching David Seaman's ponytail flat backwards and fall out. Oh, bad times. But
Absolutely was.
It was I mean, from that point of view as well, and obviously being a lover of Italian football, it was kind of the rebirth of R9, wasn't it, Ronaldo?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Because he'd been out injured for like a year and a half. I think
Yeah,
he'd made his comeback for Inter and scored a few goals at the end of the season, and then just took that World Cup apart.
Oh,
and I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, you said about the front three of and that team of Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, and Ronaldo, but I mean,
thinking back,
what a team!
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is the thing of FM dreams.
Absolutely is, yeah. I still stand by it as R9's the best striker we've seen.
Oh,
if his knee stayed intact, he could have gone on for even more unbelievable things.
Whenever I'm feeling a little bit miffed with football, I revert back to his best goals at Barcelona that one season, and some of the goals were just unreal. But yeah, best striker.
Did he wear number 10 at Barcelona as well?
He did, yes.
I was going to say that's the first time he was wearing number 10. I remember that.
Yeah, absolute baller. But yeah, cool. So 2002 World Cup. Okay, cool. So we'll move on then to more about sort of your football history. So when you played, what was your most consistent position? Where did you play most regularly?
I was a goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper?
All my life, yeah. Goalkeeper all my life.
Ah, okay. Because obviously we've had Dave Callas on before, and obviously you know Dave from college.
Yeah, we've had some fun times at college. Yeah, playing football.
But yeah, so I did not know you were a goalkeeper. And do you know what? With all of the outfield shirts behind you, there's only the one. Is it a Buffon one? I can see.
My idol.
Yeah,
he's the reason why I'm a goalkeeper.
Yeah. With the goal, with the Italian football, it's got to be Buffon. But I mean, even that period, they went through some fantastic goalkeepers in the mid to late 90s. You know, the Peruzzi and Pagliuca, and then Buffon comes in and
even the goalkeepers that were in Italy as well, like Toldo was in there.
Yes,
and then Dida later on, and there was just so many of them that were like, and they still have them now with like Handanovic and stuff. The goalkeepers in Italy, and I've said this for many years. Like Szczesny is one unbelievable goalkeeper now. Ever since he left Arsenal and then moved to Juventus, he just become a different goalkeeper. And there's just something in Italy that just breeds brilliant goalkeepers and teaches them well.
Yeah. Oh, Julio Cesar as well. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, it just keeps going.
It's Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just, I mean, it is, it is a breeding ground for great goalkeepers. And I think when you look back and you look at the teams that Italy have had and the teams within Italy, their goalkeepers, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth choice are all comfortably number ones. You look at England and, you know, you're questioning whether Pickford should be England's number one. And then you look at the other ones and you go, oh shit, we haven't really got a choice.
We'll keep him. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh dear. So goalkeeper for all of those years, do you still play?
No, I've retired now. I packed it. Yeah, I packed it in. I had a season with my brother. My brother's 40 now. Where we had a final season together. We went undefeated in our league. We won the league, and then we both kind of licked each other. My brother still helps out with the team, but we kind of both licked each other and says, you know what, that's one way go out, and that's how we went out.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Go out on the top. Nice. I like it.
Absolutely.
I like it. If only David Seaman had done that before the 2002 World
True.
Oh dear. So if you could have done one thing differently that would have potentially enhanced or made more of your footballing ability, what do you think it would have been?
It's a bit of a deep on this one, but it's anxiety. I suffer with anxiety, and like going to play with new teams or new players or where there's a crowd, I suffer with. I'll tell you a little story that I had. When I was playing with my brother, we were in a cup final. We played at Newcastle Town, which is a local one to us.
Yes, yeah.
And I had one of the best games I ever had. We lost 2-1, penalty and an unbelievable goal. Couldn't be helped. I got a phone call 3 days later from Altrincham Town's reserve manager.
Yeah.
He was like, phoned me up, reeled off my full name. I was like, who are you? What you do? How do you know this thing? He's like, we saw you in a final and we want to know if you want to play for Altrincham Town for us. Our keeper's injured. We'll give you a run in the first team for 2 weeks while the keeper's injured, and then we'll put you in the reserves for the rest of the time. And I turned it down because I didn't have, I just couldn't do it. I knew that I wouldn't be able to turn up and play there because I'd just be so anxious, and the thought of making a mistake in front of people just scared the living daylight out of me. So if I could change like the anxiety and stuff like that, then 100%. And
Yeah.
I'd like to.
So
yeah, I think.
So just linking on to that anxiety side of things, is it something you've lived with for a long time? Or
Oh,
is
yeah.
it something that hit you? Right. Okay.
No, it's a long time. Yeah.
It is, because I mean, I done a season in goal at school purely because at that point in time I didn't have the confidence to think I would be in the first team as an outfield player.
Yeah.
It turned out I was one of our better players, but as a goalkeeper, I was so hit and miss. 1 week, I think I saved the penalty and we won 6-1. The week after, I threw the ball in my net twice and we drew 5-5.
Yes, so
it was, but
yeah.
People say it, and it's such a lonely place as a goalkeeper, because
absolutely, yeah.
everyone else can make a mistake and get away with it. You're the only place, and you're not the first person I've spoken to who's lived with the anxiety and actually then said, I was a goalkeeper, and you think that is a massive jump. And I mean, it is essentially, from a mental health point of view, and also from a football point of view, it's essentially a sink and swim situation.
Yeah, it really is. When I was training, and I had a goalkeeping coach, he literally said, you can make 5 saves, but you make 1 mistake, everyone remembers your mistake because it cost you a goal. Yeah, that stuck in my head forever. That did, and I was like,
and I'm going to say, if with the anxiety side of things, that is not helpful.
Yeah, I don't need that on top as well. But like I love playing in goals though. It is. Yeah, I'll say it forever. It is the best position on the field, purely because you're like you're on your own, but you're so crucial to the team. You have a good goalkeeper, it changes the whole aspect of the team. And
most definitely.
It's the most unique and best position on the field.
Yeah, and I mean, we with the team I've run, we've been very lucky with the goalkeepers we had. We had a guy who was playing in the Bulgarian second division a few years ago, before he moved over here. Yeah. We've had a guy who was playing sort of high-ish level non-league up until he was 19. And then basically they said, you're not going to grow. So they sacked him off. But he was, I think he's like 5'10", but as unbelievable goalkeeper. Yeah. And it makes such a difference, because the one thing you find on Sunday league football is you can find a decent goalkeeper, but most of the time they can't kick a ball.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So goal kicks, you're either having to play short all the time or drop very deep as the ball just clears the area.
Or your centre half taking it and playing everyone on side.
And those are the key things. Or you have a goalkeeper who can kick and you just hope he can sweep, because you don't have any faith in him catching the ball.
Absolutely.
So, cool. So finally, and this is the big five. What do you feel are the key attributes to make the perfect modern day footballer? And we're not talking sort of position specific here. It's the things that you think every player, if they want to be at the top of their game, the 5 key things they should have.
So going down like the football manager route of like thinking of attributes and stuff like that, like determination is massive. If you've got to want it, you really have got to want it out there. Yeah. If you don't want it, then it's not going to come to you. So determination's so high up there. Technique as well, always. It does help, but for me, technique, you can tell the difference of players. Like, for example, Kevin De Bruyne's technique is out of this world. If you've got like just a glimpse of his technique, then you're going to be up there. Yeah, absolutely are. Natural fitness. I don't think people understand just how much fitness you need to be a footballer. I think they just see it's 90 minutes of football, and they just run around and then they get a week off. Absolutely not. They're training 7 times a week, sometimes, if not more. So.
The amount of people that go, but I can run around on a 5-a-side pitch for an hour, 2 hours. I don't see the. No. You've missed. You're not getting it, are you?
You just don't understand what it is. So it just don't. But for me, that's a big one. I don't know what I'd put it in. I don't know if I'd say it's an anticipation, but to be able to read a game of football is awareness, absolutely crucial. Awareness, is absolutely crucial for me. Yeah, you can tell the difference in a player. And a quick story again, once for my Sunday league team, when I played that final that I was on about, we had a guy, because we played a full Polish team that's in Stoke. Fantastic team. I've never played anyone as good as them. Yeah, one of their players played in the Champions League for Liga Warsaw. He come over because he got dropped and he wasn't making the money. And he says, over in here in England, there's more money. So he sends it home to his family. Because I was like straight up to him, like, I want to talk to you. You played in the Champions League. just his level of awareness, as you say, and knowing the game of football just shone upon every single one. And you can just say, yeah, he's the best player on this pitch. So for me, just being able to read a game is just amazing and unbelievable.
I mean, we've got a chunk of those, or had a chunk of those, and got still playing for me, who are Hungarian and Bulgarian, and you see the way they approach the game. It's so different, the way they do things, and they know when to give away those little tactical fouls and things like that. And that is all in the awareness, when to do it, how to do it, how to get away with it. And much like you said about the financials, the guy who I was saying played second division in Bulgaria, essentially the management of the club weren't paying the players the promised wages. So they were getting some degree of the wages, but then a lot of it was bonuses and they weren't getting them. And he then decided he was going to leave the club because of it. And the club then basically said, you'll never play here again. You'll never play in the league again. We'll make sure no one else picks you up. And so he moved over to the UK, and he earns the same amount of money per week as a dry liner and gets to play for fun, essentially. On a Saturday and Sunday. And it's like, and that it's got to be for, everyone dreams of being, or everyone who likes football dreams of being a pro footballer. And it just shows how bad it must be for someone to just walk away from it that easily.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's an eye opener for them. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is. Cool. Okay, so that's 4 of them. What's number 5?
I would say composure.
Yes.
To be like, which goes hand in hand with reading the game.
Yeah.
But just to be not panicking on the ball, like you say, you've managed in Sunday and Saturday leagues. You see people that are scared when they get the ball like at the feet, and they start looking like a pigeon tapping the toes. You just need that guy that just can look up, find the ball, and just play it out. And like having someone, like say, not position wide, but like as a centre half for me, as a goalkeeper, having a centre half in front of me that picks up that ball, delivers it out, and he's so cool. Is one of the best things I've ever experienced for football, for me anyway. And I just felt confidence with having a guy there that was so composed and didn't mind passing to left, didn't mind passing right. If he needs to go long, he knew it was go long. And he was just like, with the understanding of the game and the composure, blend them two together, and you've got one hell of a player on your hands.
No, most definitely. And I agree. I mean, we'll quickly go through what you said. So we've got the determination technique, fitness, awareness, and composure. The determination, obviously, if you want to be a pro, if you want to get better, you've got to be determined to do it.
Yeah.
You can't go into it half-heartedly, because you'll end up like Ravel Morrison. I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch the show, so I'm safe with that one. No slander, nothing. Fine. But the technique, the awareness, and the composure as a combined, because I think the technique covers so many intricate attributes.
Yeah.
Like your first touch and things like that awareness to bring the ball down, be able to control it, but also know what you're going to do before it's even got to you.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrates me the most on football is when people pick the ball up, lose it straight away, and said, where was the call? Because the one thing in my head, the one thing you do is when the ball comes to you, you have a quick look round to see where people are.
Absolutely.
And you're not doing it for the opposition necessarily, but you're also doing it so you can get the ball out your feet and play a pass straight away.
Get your players, your players.
But when people go, oh, where was the call? Well, why did you not look?
As simple as that.
But having that awareness, and as you say, that composure. I mean, I remember playing years ago back in Reading with a guy, and as a kid, he was very good, but by the time he got to 19, 20, he proper pounded up.
Yeah.
And he'd been a centre midfielder, but then he played at centre back. And he was still technically a very good player. He just couldn't run. And I remember he used to just get the ball from our goalkeeper, and he'd have a striker trying to win the ball, and it'd just be arm across him, holding him off and picking a 40-yard pass. And you're like, this guy's like 19, 20, and he's doing that to men, proper men.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
And it's just, you just gave him the ball. You didn't care. Gave him the ball because he
knew he was going to, something good was coming from it.
Yeah, you knew. Worst case scenario, he wasn't going to lose it.
True. True.
But yeah, so that composure and that awareness is fantastic, and the natural fitness, as we said, people underestimate the level of fitness you have to have. I played at a decent level, and I was lazy.
Yeah.
And part of the laziness was I knew I didn't have enough of the fitness, and it wasn't something I had a great interest in improving on. But I always played to my strengths.
Yep.
And now you see people, and it's you can't get away with it now. You've got to have that fitness. People like Matt Letizia nowadays would be nowhere near the level that they were at the time. Yeah. But and it is a big step. And as you say, people, the lack of awareness of how fit you need to be. Yeah. I run about a 5-a-side pitch. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Well done. I'm up and down them stairs all day at work.
Yeah.
Oh, God, shut it up. Ticker, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, my friend. For those of you who aren't already, go and check it out. All links and everything else are below at the moment or in the descriptions. Give him a follow. Check out the current Pentagon Challenge going on FM, going around the world, trying to win all of the major Champions League equivalents in each different continent. Always a good watch, always a good laugh, and always lots of interaction, which, from a streamer is what you want. Ticker, as I say, been an absolute pleasure having you on, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will catch you very soon.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure, buddy. Thank you very much, my man. Appreciate that.